to be a doctor, for me, it's like I always wanted to be a tennis player. So when they called me and said, we want to have you as an honorary doctor, I was like, okay, yeah, it was really a big surprise. I was really proud also to be that. I still go to the hall. I think it's a sickness maybe, I don't know, but I go to the hall with my bag and I always ask if they are equal. I will not practice, but if they're not, then I can jump in to make some sparring with the guys and boys and girls. I like to come to the hall. It's like have been part of my whole life to be in the table tennis hall since I was 7.
We're going to talk about the game, and we divided it in actually 3 parts. We have taken minus 18 years to go back to the point when Sweden won the World Championships. Of course, we can hope that Sweden win again. Tell us about that time, back to the year 2000.
2000 was style we still was playing with a small ball, 38 millimeters, which maybe you cannot see from there, but I send it. It was this size. So it means at that time it was a celluloid ball, 38 millimeters, more spin in the ball, and you could make more variation. So you also had a lot of different playing styles, pen holders with pimples out, which you cannot see so many players today. You had defense players, shake hand, a lot of different styles. And the spin and speed was to mix it. That was the key point.
And tell us about the match, year 2000. Little underdogs won 89, 91 and 93. And then this match came, Sweden-China.
Yeah, I mean, Sweden was, myself was 34 years old, Wallner was 35. The young guy was Fredrik Håkansson, which was in the team. He was only 24, yeah, 25. So I mean, no one was counting with us, but we felt really good. We were preparing very good for championships, and we saw the opportunity to beat China one more time. We knew which players they're going to play with, so we prepared a lot against these different styles. Li Guoliang, who was a current world champion. And the game came to, we were taking the lead with 2-0, and then Peter Karlsson played as number 3, he lost. And then it was 2-1, it was quite, not funny, but then it was Wallner was playing Kong Li Hu at that time, and that was our game. Normally we should win 3-1, because in the last match against Li Guoliang, I lost to him 1 year before in World Championships, no chance, 3-0. And then I was going out for warming up, and I met Wallner on the way because he was coming in, and he said to me, "Be prepared," he said. And I was like, okay, should I? But you must win, I mean, that's our biggest chance. Yeah. So, okay, I went out preparing, and he lost 2-0. Okay, so it was up to me then to play Li Guoliang, which I lost less than 1 year before with 3-0, no chance in the quarterfinals in World Championship.
Let's take a look.
Ja! Ja! 2018! Vi har matchbollar mot Kina!
It's 1980 was that ball. I missed the service when it was 87 for me. So it was 18 on, but now it's 2018 for me.
Ja! Jörgen Persson slår världsmästaren med 2-1 set! 21!
Here you see, I'm quite afraid of my racket there. It's a good racket, so I want to keep that, so I keep it out here because I don't want them to destroy it.
So this is minus 18 years, table tennis, 38mm ball. That had an impact at the time, and you felt, and a lot of top players actually felt, the change to 40mm. You know, that some qualities in the game became different, and you lost some of the techniques or possibilities to do variation in the game.
Yes, we lost it, especially what we were more concerned about was the bouncing of the ball. It was bouncing very differently. When they changed to 40mm, the celluloid ball, it was, we all noticed that there was a little less spin in the ball like this, but biggest thing was that it was not bouncing equal. So it means sometimes it was bouncing like this, and sometimes because the ball was different, the hardness was different. And that made it very difficult to be sure in the game, especially when you wanted to play on blocking style and attacking, because you never knew which side you were hitting on. When the ball is coming, You don't know if you hit this side or that side. And if that part was hard, you were blocking maybe directly over, it was feeling good. But the next time the ball was coming with spin and you hit this ball and it went directly in net. So that made players very confused because you never felt really sure when the ball, especially when you wanted to play on blocking. And that's when I started to try to make a little more overspin. You wanted, because to make the push, what we were using more 2000, like I know Figgy can show maybe a little, it's easier to see. And then you could push like this more. And then, when this started with the ball, that you felt more unsure, then it was better to go over.
Again, you still have that beautiful backhand, by the way.
Yeah, it's in the, thank you. And then you were starting to back over, more overspin instead. To get the more security, you felt more. There's the push, and there's the overspin. So more players were starting to use the backhand with spin more on the backhand side.
Was there a difficult change, a technical innovation, or people just starting to put more spin in the ball and driving players on the other side backwards with it, sort of moving towards the game of power?
It was quite a big change because everybody became much. It was not only in front of the table, you made backhand topspin, because before you could make the fishing from behind, but suddenly when you were pushing the players down, with your forehand topspin maybe, people could answer from behind with spin, like this, and before they were only fishing like this, so that made quite a big, of course you had them, and suddenly people were playing very hard topspin from behind, so they could counter-attack from them.
In minus 18 years, there was also a lot of different playing styles. We talked about that before, that today maybe all the young players are sort of developing the game by copying or going game of power. In minus 18 years, there was also good defensive players, there were penalty players, as you say, pushing. Did that force you to be more, to apply more deeper knowledge of the game, to try to study playing styles? Also in the Swedish team, you have different playing styles?
Yeah, I think that was one of the key points actually, because you could play against all styles. We were never afraid. It doesn't matter if you play defense players or penholder grips, this and this. Yeah. That was like, you always felt secure when you came to a tournament. Doesn't matter if I play defense or I play penholder with pimples and smashing or like this. Yeah. So we tried to develop to be as around as possible. Yeah. That you always felt safe when you came, it doesn't matter what we are playing. And that was also a big key point that for the Swedish team, that we were never afraid who we're going to play.
And also this flow of yours, if we try to show again, the flow between back and forehand, which was one of the key points that I know that you developed, in terms of being able to coordinate between backhand and forehand.
That's a key point.
That was a regular part? Was that
It's regular, I didn't know it, regular.
Did it go a little bit harder, I would say? Or...
Yeah, that was too easy. It made it more difficult.
There is a spot maybe on the Swedish team where you get into the tournament.
Yeah, I'm ready. No, I'm not ready. The development was that it was very difficult to have one good side to start running only with forehand. We saw Ligo Young there. He was playing the penalty, he played only with one side. And then smashing forehand a lot. But then when it came to the bigger ball and was no opportunity, the game was also getting quicker and quicker, so you have to develop your backhand. And that's when I started before. But to be neutral, So you can be very quick between backhand and forehand. That you stay, you always go back to the middle. Because if the ball was coming there, you could go quick like this. If it was coming here, you could play your backhand top in there. Because the game was getting more and more diagonal, that you play backhand against each other, and forehand. So I tried to be strong here, that I didn't have to run so much with forehand. Like you saw the last balls against Julian, I was quite quick around and played with spin to his backhand.
If we then move 10 years, being 2008, you made a fantastic comeback actually. It was a tremendous performance all the way to this semi-final. And let's watch this game. But the most important thing here in 2008 was the game to 11. How did that change the mentality of players, do you believe?
It was a much shorter game suddenly, you know. When we saw 2000, we made 5 serves and played to 21. So tactically with the service was a big difference. When it came to 11 points, you had to be, you could never, even like today also, you cannot relax one moment. You have to be all the time on your toes and 100% concentrated because the game, the balls disappeared so quick. And we also only have 2 serves. So it makes, tactically, with the service game, it's not that you see many players at that time make so many long serves. You focus more on playing the short serves.
Those balls you always remember, 10-9. What happened the ball before you used to talk?
I had 10-8, which we will see in the 7th game against Sassuolo. And we played a rally, and I got the opportunity to smash the backhand, which is my point like this. It was 10-8 in the 7th, and I just felt I played safe, maybe he will miss. So I came here, and I did, and then I just played the ball on the table, and then he made the point. And then I was thinking in my head, if I get this chance, it was 10-8 to 10-9, and I was thinking, if I get this chance again to hit my backhand, then I will hit it, I will not just play it on the table. So now it's time to get a match in the 7th. I think he's more nervous than me, but this one, very clean. You have to go for it.
That was a tough match. There was also some controversial point. You see, it was not a lot of difference. Actually, most of the time, very, very close scores. And what about, you looked confident there when you served it. Did you feel you had it, or was it a good feeling match all the way that you sort of dominated or mentally felt strong?
I felt very strong when I came to the Olympics. Actually, I was 42 years at that time. No one was counting me. He's too old and he's too slow and everything. But I must say, we started with team event and I was building up my confidence all the time. And when I came, this was last 16 against Sassuolo. I felt really strong because I was so quick. I felt I could take every ball on the table, and it doesn't matter if they push me wide to forehand, down to backhand. I was so strong, and mentally I just was enjoying the time. That shows it that ball 10-8, I had a chance, I didn't take that. 10-9, I felt, okay, go for it here. That shows confidence when you do that 10-9 in the 7th game.
How much importance, let's say, physical elements coming into the game? I know that you were the one who actually practiced the hardest of all European players before the Beijing 28, and so how much is that physical strength and good conditioning? How much does it mean in a tournament like this when you go in and you feel strong? From a physical point of view, I think from your mental.
From a physical point of view, it's very important because when you're coming, you're coming to a big championship, you must feel that you don't come with doubts into the games that, oh, maybe I did this wrong, I did this, I could do this. I came in and I always felt that I learned that during my long travel to big championships, that when you're coming to a big championships, you should not look back what I could have done. You must feel, I did everything, I'm confident with that. And of course, physical, you're playing a lot of days, and you have to be focused and concentration. If you're not well trained, you don't want to lose a game that you have, that you didn't run that last lap on or something like that. Yeah. So that was something also I learned from Stellan Bengtsson, the former world champion. He lost one game in 1970 against the old teammate, Halmstad on condition, he said, but he got tired. And he said to himself, I will never lose a game that I don't have the condition enough. So I also took that in my head a little. I don't want to lose game that I get tired or something like that. You can lose that other player is better than you, but not on a physical part.
And let's see some physical elements. I mean, a lot of players, of course, practice what you're doing right now here. Looking good, by the way.
If I should join the team, I must look good.
Multiball practice, and let's say your favorite drill that you do, sort of one.
The favorite one, okay. Then we call it the Falkenberg. I mean, maybe people heard about that exercise. It's backhand, forehand, and backhand, and then you start again. But I changed it little, that I start with on underspin, step around, and then get the topspin ball here, and then the backhand snatch. I will try to do it as I did against Vlad, but not sure.
This is not so hard to train technical, but it's very tough actually.
And now my condition, I will lose a lot of games on condition.
The problem for having to lose, when you don't play matches now in training or anything?
Yeah, I practice it. But I would say I was playing in 87 to 91, I was playing in Malmö, FF, and I had my UAC, the Chinese coach there. And he said, I still had the record, I did quite many. I did 25, 26 rounds of this year. But he was not that kind like Figge was now. He was pushing the ball here and here, and wide here, yeah. So that was my best time.
But it's also good for technique, of course, the timing you see here. You need to really, how important is it to take the ball on the highest position all the time today?
Yeah, especially with multi-balls, is that you can always make exercises which maybe if me and Frederick is practicing, I cannot tell him to do all these things, but with multi-balls you can always make exercises which is not so easy to make when you're two. I mean, to play exercises against each other. But here specifically, I practice on the underspin to step around. And I get overspin, which is also in the game, when I step around, on underspin I get the topspin ball here. Practice this to move the legs, and also try to play on the highest point. And it's also very important that you are concentrated when you play the ball, because it's very easy just to, it doesn't matter if I miss or like this, that you just throw away the balls. But to make the placement also, I try to think it, maybe one comes straight, that one comes straight, that one straight for there. the one diagonal, and always try to feel where you place the ball. Because in the game, you have to read the other guy very easily, be moving also. So this is a thing which you can practice very good here. Because the balls comes even a little quicker than in a normal game. So if you're good here, you come to the table maybe to practice with other guys. You feel strong mental also because the ball is coming a little slower and then you have more time.